Hey guys, welcome to tonight's live. Did you know that the IRS could actually penalize you for being too talented? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today with the SSTB as a little warning for what that is and how it could impact you if you are super talented and you're making a lot of money from your salon or your barbershop because of that. Welcome to today's live. My name is Jennifer. If this is your first time here, we are on day 57 of 90 in my 2026 Tax Talk series. I am the founder and CEO of Hair CEO. We are a business advisory, bookkeeping, and tax firm helping self-employed hair professionals and hair business owners run profitable, legitimate, and bankable businesses. So today we are talking about the SSTB, specified service, trade, or business classification for tax purposes. Because, like I mentioned, you could actually be penalized for being too successful. And so I want to take you back a little bit and give a little bit of history here. So the SSTB, like I have up here, it stands for Specified Service Trade or Business. So a few years ago, there was this business deduction that was given to business owners called the QBI, and that stands for Qualified Business Income. And so, really nice tax deduction where you can deduct up to 20% of your profit just because, right? But the IRS or the government said that they wanted to put limits on this. And so, if you fell in this, specified service, trade, or business realm, there came with like special circumstances and limits that you couldn't go past because of who you are and what kind of business you run. So essentially, once you hit a certain amount in your profit and you are considered a SSTB for business purposes, then you lose the deduction. And so, unfortunately, barbers and braiders and hairstylists, we do fall under this SSTB, I guess, term or category. So there are really three tests that the IRS has to figure out if someone if call falls under this category. So let's talk about those three things. So the three tests you have, the first one is skill and reputation. So if your business is known for operating because of your skill or your reputation, then you are considered a specified service, trade, or business. Now, for my folks who are like, well, it's not just me, I have a staff. Okay, well, if you have 10 barbers or 10 stylists or other braiders in your business, well, the IRS and the government thought about that. And they said that it's not just for owners. If your business relies on the skill or reputation of the owners or employees, then it is considered a specified service, trade, or business. So that means this one right here, this test right here gets us every single time. So we don't even have to get to the other two. We're going to go over the other two, but this first one right here already makes us fall into that SSTB category, hands down. So then we have the second category, because I see a lot of hairstylists, a lot of barbers, they get into these ambassadorship deals and, they start endorsing products and services. And so the next test is endorsement or appearance. So if your business relies on you as a person endorsing or, appearing in something to get money, right? Like think of it as like these influencers and content creators, but really influencers who are getting paid to influence people. If you think about it, right? They're relying on their appearance or they're endorsing products. And so the government says, okay, if that is how you primarily make your money or bring in money, then you are also considered SSTB. Okay. And then for the third category or the third test is if you are fitting into the health category. Now, for us, we're not really falling into that category much unless, let's say, you have a spa, like a med spa, and you have staff who are considered in the health fields, nurses or, practitioners or anything like that, then guess what? Now you fall under that health category and you may fail in this test. So these are the tests that the IRS has to determine if someone is considered a SSTB for the category for tax purposes. Okay. So now that we have that kind of background, you're like, okay, Jennifer, what does all this mean? Well, it means that in the One Big Beautiful Bill, it did expand the limits for how much you could make. But for 2025, starting in 2025, the moment you make as a single person, the moment you make over $203,000 in your business, then you lose the 20% tax deduction. That QBI, gone, completely gone once you hit that threshold. Now, if you are married filing jointly, it shoots up and it doubles to 406,000. And once you hit that threshold, then you lose it completely. You don't get the deduction. So the QBI, the 20%. This is huge though. I mean, 20%, this is one of the biggest tax deductions that I'm able to get for a lot of my clients. They are coming in, they have X amount of dollars in profit, and immediately 20% gone. That's huge. So this is something that I have to look out for with my really high earning salon owners, because we have a few clients at Hair CEO that are right at the $1 million mark when it comes to sales. And so if they're hitting $1 million more in revenues, then you can imagine their net income, their profit is over $200,000. So if that's the case, we have to be very strategic so that we don't lose that deduction. And there are some things that we can do to make sure that we don't meet that threshold. So if we're getting close, that's really something that we look out for at Hair CEO to make sure, like, okay, are our clients getting too close to this threshold? We don't want them to lose that QBI deduction. So that's where like tax strategy comes in, right? And some things that we're able to do. Number one, maybe we want to, if they're an S corp, maybe we want to increase their W-2 so that their profit goes down, right? So we have to kind of, weigh the benefits there. Another option could be maybe we want to stash some money in a 401k or SEP, some type of retirement account for our clients. Maybe we want to do a HSA to, again, take away some of that money to decrease the business profit. These are all strategies that you can have to make sure that you are not missing that QBO, which is a huge 20% tax break. Now, this is something that you get when you are working with a tax professional during the year. This is not something that you could come and just, say, oh, Jennifer, I need help filing my taxes for 2025. And then you come to me and I see you've made $250,000 and you're like, okay, well, what can I do? No. That's not tax preparation. That now you need tax strategy. You need to be working with someone during the year to implement these things. And so if that's you, maybe you're nowhere near $200,000 profit. You might be like, well, Jennifer, I'm not even at six figures for my revenue. Like, what are we talking about right now? That doesn't mean that you can't get prepared for when that time comes. If I've talked to hairstylists and barbers all the time. They know they're sitting on $1 million ideas. They know it. They just need the assistance. They need to get there, right? And so if that's you, you're sitting on a very profitable business idea. You just need some help with the structure, and you just need some help getting organized, because it's like, Jennifer, I got the talent, but these numbers, this back end, this organization, it gets me every single time. And I want to invite you to click the link in my description. Working with a limited number of clients for 2026 filing season, I would love to help you, with your taxes, making sure that you have what you need and are getting the questions answered that you have related to your business as it pertains to your taxes and your business growth, and making sure that you remain bankable and profitable. So, yep, that's all I have for this evening. Tomorrow, I'll be back with another tax topic, and we will be on day 58. Can't believe we're almost at the end of February. We went through the one big, beautiful bill very quickly. So, I will see you tomorrow when we touch on another topic. And until then, I'm Jen, and I simplify profits and taxes for self employed hair professionals. And I will see you tomorrow.